Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to talk through some updates to the green aggro deck of the Vibes TCG. Now, because we've now had a release of 50 of the new Legends of Lil's cards, there's been definitely a change in the meta as well as some of the availability to the cards in this deck. So the first card that is a really good fit for this deck is Binkus Who Eats the Stars. So previously, the green aggro deck really struggled with the Bizbunk matchup, and because of that, right, we would run often 4 copies of Gotham in order to deal with the Ascending Penguin, and then we would also run maybe 3 copies of Misplace. So I think that Binkus is able to, or I guess I don't even know because I've only done this matchup once, I think. And in that matchup, Binkus worked. But in general, the question is having a Binkus good enough to just completely shut down Bizbunk? If so, it would be great because then we could only use 3 slots of our deck for that matchup as opposed to the 7 we were using before. So that's why we're running 3 copies here. The reason we need to run 3 copies is you do need it pretty early in the game for this to work, and green aggro just doesn't really have any card draw. So we'll play 3 copies of this. And then the other thing is, I think right now, Purple Recycler is a very strong deck. I made a video about this earlier, and I personally have been doing extremely well with it. So Binkus should be very strong in that matchup as well. So this also will help with the Purple Recycler matchup. Then the other deck that I think is really strong right now is Yellow Aggro. Again, right, the reason that Recycler and Yellow Aggro are so good is because they now have Mount Fuji as an answer to Popcorn Penguin. So because of that, we're running 3 copies of EverybodyStayClam. I think EverybodyStayClam is the best answer to Yellow Aggro that Green has because you can think about Yellow Aggro as 2 end game conditions. They have put your flippers in the air, and the way you deal with put your flippers in the air is you deal with it with Walk the Runway because you remove the penguin that's targeted by put the flippers in the air. And then the second way you deal with put the flippers in the air is just clean up good because you can actually potentially grow bigger. Like a Romulus with some inspiring stories might even be bigger than a put your flippers penguin. But then for Buddy Up, Everybody Stay Clam can work very well. And so that's why we're running actually three Everybody Stay Clam, and then we also run the 4 WhataTwist because in a lot of matchups this combo still works pretty well. So then, other than that, we are running 2 Hungry Penguins in the 6th slot because now we're not running Misplace. I think this is a little bit flexible. I tried playing Be Silly, Be Weird, which is a pretty good card, I think. But one issue with that card is against Buddy Up, it doesn't really work because it returns it to their owner's hand and then they can just play it again. And the other thing is it seems to be a bug right now with Be Silly, Be Weird where it just puts it in the ice, or at least at the time of recording this video, that bug exists. And so then I just, I feel bad playing that card because when you put it, you're basically just, it's way, way more powerful than it's supposed to be. So then the other card I'm playing is Little Skydiver. I don't even know if this card is good. You might really just be better off with the Blossoming Penguin, but it is really fun to go Little Skydiver into Sliding Penguin because then you can buff the Little Skydiver again, and you can get like 2 or 3 fishsicles off of it in the early game. So the question then is, why do you even need fishsicles in this deck? And the question that would be, actually, yeah. So then it's just, sometimes to get a Romulus out faster, or you can just play less rods if you get some fishsicles. So the one other card I've been thinking about is the 1 drop. So we have the uh Lil Who Blossoms or Lil Who Blooms, right? Because this deck really does maybe want a 1 drop. So maybe let's actually, we could take out the Skydiver. Let's just play 2 Skydivers and 2 1 drops. So I haven't played this deck so much. So let's see how this goes, right? We are running a lot of we're running Success Penguin. Maybe we take out Success Penguin. Yeah, because we could take out Success Penguin and put in like 3 Blooms and 3 Skydivers and just have a faster start. But let's run it like this because this is going to help us try to like learn about how this deck works. So this is kind of often my process. And this is why this is like a deck design video instead of a deck guide video, where I'll be running like 2 Hungry Penguins, 2 Little Skydivers, 2 Success Penguins, 2 Little Penguin Who Blooms, and then we run 3 of a bunch of other cards. And so we'll play some games, and maybe by the end of this video, we'll have a better idea of what we like to keep and what we want to like, how we want to change the deck list a little bit. But anyway, let's jump into some games, see how we perform, see how we like the 1 drop or the little skydiver. And yeah, let's go and change also the 2 drop. We'll change it Penguin Whose Garden Grows to the Blossoming Penguin. So now, because one of the issues with Garden Grows is Garden Grows gets its strength partially from Blossoming Penguin. So if we cut Blossoming Penguin for Garden Grows or for a little Skydiver, then Garden Grows gets weaker. So in that case, we might be better off just to be running the Blossoming Penguin. I think the one other interaction I want to call out is Popcorn Penguin. Like, right, the reason we don't normally run the 2-drop, the, or the thing that makes, like, Lil Skydiver and Lil Blooms kind of have anti-synergy with Popcorn Penguin is, right, if you have a Sliding Penguin and a Popcorn Penguin, you can get the Popcorn Penguin to 4 vibe. But then if your opponent has a 4 vibe penguin, but you then have a Lil Who Blooms or a Lil Skydiver, that's kind of like anti-synergy with the Popcorn Penguin. Because then, right, the Popcorn Penguin will ice your own thing. Like, let's say your opponent just has a Sneaky Penguin. So I think if we're running the Sliding Penguin package, and this is why the old deck worked so well, because the Penguin Whose Garden Grows can actually get out of range of Popcorn by itself, and the Blossoming Penguin does. So really, as I talk through this more, I think we're going to end up just basically only running Binkus as the new card, and just adjusting this deck for the current metagame and cutting Skydiver. Like I think we want to basically cut Skydiver and Lil Who Blooms for the Blossoming Penguin and the Garden Grows. I just think this is a better early game package because of the synergy with the Sliding Penguin and the Popcorn Penguin. But anyway, let's play some games like this. We'll see. Maybe I'm going to be wowed by the Skydiver or the Lil Who Blooms, and if I am, then we'll switch that. Like we can't cut Sliding Penguin anyway or Popcorn Penguin, so that's pretty central to the deck. So I think those will stay no matter what. And so the question is just like, is Popcorn Penguin so weakened by Mount Fuji that we're okay to accept some anti-synergy in the deck in order to run these new cards? But again, like I'm not really seeing what these bring to the table. Like, right, having a 1-drop is nice. I'm not saying that it's not helpful in some situations. And same with like having a Fish-sickle is nice, but this deck doesn't really need Fish-sickles. So I don't know. The only really reason to get a Fish-sickle is you then just never have to go to 7 rods, right? You can just stay at like 5 rods, 6 rods, and still get Romulus down. So anyway, let's jump into some games, see how we perform, and then we'll make the final call on the deck list by the end of the games. All right, so taking a look at our first hand, so I think we definitely keep the popcorn and inspiring story combo. Yeah, I don't think that the EverybodyStayClam is a great opening keep, but okay, so we got it back. And I think right, so it's probably not yellow. Well, I mean, they didn't play the 1-drop, so it's a good chance it's not yellow. Okay, so I think we'll play the clam because my guess is if they had played the 1-drop, then I would have kept the clam. Maybe it's greedy to keep both inspiring stories, but I mean, most likely we'll have to rot it anyway here. But if we can win, like double story popcorn is really good combo, and then Curious Penguin works really well to start winning the vibe check, even if you don't have the 2-drop. So okay, so this is some sort of purple, maybe or blue. So that's one question is like, should we be playing Bunkus? Okay, so we are. Hmm, yeah, I guess we don't need the sliding penguin because right, we're gonna go Curious Penguin into story, into popcorn probably. But, right, there might also have Mount Fuji, so we maybe we'll go into sliding, hmm, okay, well, I think well, it could still be a bash globe, right? If this is some sort of bash globe, I think sliding penguin is the least useful. And we have the BounceHouseRod, so we can get back whatever. So I do wonder, right, what if this is some sort of blue, like some sort of, just mill deck, then maybe we need to run a Bunkus. So I think right now is one of those times when the meta is really in flux. And so when the meta is like kind of all over the place, running a Bunkus could be useful. Okay, but so this is all right. So unclear what this is. So it still could be BizBunk, but it also could be Recycler. Okay, so I think in both of those we don't need the ending cards. So right. Okay, so we have the popcorn, but yeah. So what is the popcorn going to do? Well, oh, maybe one card we could play around Mount Fuji is Tina Who Tears, but then again, right? Tina Who Tears is really really not ideal in the okay, so it's some sort of biz bunk. Okay, so it's not a recycler. So in that case, I think I'm gonna just okay, so I have Binkus. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna test out the theory. Is okay, so inspiring story is not you definitely don't need two inspiring stories in this matchup. So the question is Binkus sufficient to win this matchup on its own? So that is an interesting question. So the way that we're gonna do this is we're going to wait. Okay, so they got a popping Pete. Okay. Right. I think we just need to basically. So the nice thing is you can kind of chain Binkus on itself to have it kind of enter the battlefield and then kind of get removed. So we'll see. So we're gonna empty their ice this turn fully. Yeah, and then we'll have Binkus so we can basically re-empty their ice again next turn. Okay, so yeah, so they will. I mean, they have a bunch of good targets for popcorn, but I could see that Mount. Well, no, they can't play Mount Fuji, right? Because if um if Mount Fuji comes out, I will just name Ascending Penguin or something like that. Well, there's so many good things to name. I don't even know what I would name or Bunkus. But okay, so we're gonna play Binkus, but we're gonna play Binkus in a way where it gets iced. So we're gonna leave only actions in their ice. So okay, so we're gonna play this. Um I don't know if I even need to play a Romulus. So let's just play this first. Okay, so 13 cards. So I'm gonna do all the penguins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and then what else will I do? What are the worst cards to put back? 11, I think 12, 13. Okay, so that's 13 cards. So now Binkus will come in and get iced immediately. Okay, so is there anything I want to bounce house here? I don't think so. So I think, okay, so we do that. And so the question is, yeah, I can just keep doing that every turn. Okay, so now they're going to go for milling me. Okay, so that's an interesting change of strategy because they see that the regular strategy won't work. But okay, so I think the question is, okay, so I think we have to remove the blue pudge because I want the I want the popcorn to stay alive and them not to be able to remove it. I think they're gonna have trouble milling me, even with 3 penguin who's okay. So yeah, so okay, so this I didn't really think about the strategy where they would try to turn into the mill deck. Like, that can't be good, right? Well, maybe it's good because I still have a decent amount of deck left. Because but they can draw a lot of cards. So I really need another popcorn penguin. That would help a lot. So yeah, because they're gonna be able to or I need to put a bunkus in the deck. So maybe we put a bunkus in because I think that would yeah, because I was already thinking that before this. So yeah, because now because if we had a bunkus, this wouldn't work at all. Okay, but you can see that they basically are not even trying to fight the binkus. They're like, no way that this is gonna do anything. So we'll put one bunkus in. Um, yeah, because right, they can actually get us down pretty fast. Okay, so now they're okay. Wait, now they're changing. Why did they do their own deck once? I'm not really sure. Um, okay, so I will. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. And I think I'm just gonna play the bounce house face down because I don't need any of these cards. Yeah, I really wish I had. Yeah, what do I really wish I had? I wish I had some sort of some sort of removal, like a walk the runway. Because if I had to walk the runway, that could help me. Yeah, I'm definitely getting nervous about the deck, but I guess theoretically, if I get rid of all their blue pudge, because if they have a study all night, right, then I can only lose 6 cards a turn if I get rid of all their blue pudge. Because now they can't play anything in the action phase. And then if next turn, yeah, so maybe I'm overreacting here. Let's see. Okay, so I could just play the Binkus again. Maybe if I have enough. Yeah, because if I had enough here, then I could play the Binkus again. Okay, but we'll play the well, do we wanna I guess we just play the 1, 2, 3, 4. How many rods do I have? 7. So I think I play the Romulus and then I play the bounce house. I get the I get the garden grows. Okay. And then So, yeah, so let's see. So, all right, so yeah, so if we had it, well, so also like 3 Penguin Who's Okay is kind of a lot. Like, I think it's, not okay, 4 Penguin Who's Okay. This is not a typical setup that you're facing against. So let's see here. So we are going to, well, we're still going to, yeah, we'll still, well, we're still tied. So everything's good here, and we still have the everyone stay clam. So even if they have something like, I don't know, but I don't know what they could have like a not a rod anymore. So if they not a rod anymore, um, then we can everybody stay clam, and then they'll need a what a twist because so either way they're gonna lose a lot. But yeah, right. The way I'm gonna lose is by running out of cards in my deck. Not from so yeah, so 14, but 14 should still be a good enough to go for 2 more turns. Okay. But so we end up winning. Okay, so I think this kind of validates my theory, which is okay, so Binkus. Okay, so maybe I'm overreacting with the Bunkus because, so this is about as good of a setup as they can have for trying to make me run out of cards in my deck, and they just weren't able to do it. So I think maybe I'm overreacting. But Binkus looked like it shut them down pretty hard because I could have just played Binkus again next turn, and then, right, all 8 cards in their deck would go away, and I think, right, the nice thing with Binkus is you can actually play it twice in 1 turn, like, if they had an ice of 26 cards, you can play it, take out all the penguins, Binkus has 0 vibe, and then you go and take out all the actions. So, I think it looks like it's very good. So, they're gonna have to change the way they play to try to win all in 1 turn. So, this looks pretty good. So, do we want a Bunkus in here? That is a question. Now, because we could take out, what, a Hungry Penguin? But, okay, let's keep playing. I don't think it was definitely not necessary for this. So the only reason to add it is because of blue. So if we're running into blue mill, let's look at the deck list. Let's see what we can do here. Because we can go to let's see, which one is it? It is this one. Okay. So if we go here, so what would we could put a bunkus in for? We could put a bunkus in for the for one of the Binkus. But again, right, you saw that I only saw 1 Binkus that whole game. I think 3 to see 1 a game in a medium speed matchup, like, I think you need 3 at a minimum. We could take out a twist. So we could take out 1 twist for a Bunkus. Maybe we do that. But twist works so well with Hungry Penguin. I think if we take out the twist, we might as well take out the Hungry Penguins. And then, because like the Hungry Penguin, so we've got like the Hungry Penguin and Success Penguin are there really for the mirror. So then the question is, does blue did blue get a bunch of new tools so that can we yeah, okay. I think let's just leave it like this for now. And then we'll play one more. We'll play the rest of the games and then we'll make the adjustments to the deck after that. But okay, let's play one more game, see how it goes, and then yeah, we'll go from there. All right, jumping into the next game. Let's see what we've got here. So, right, maybe we keep the walk the runway for sure. And I think we look forward to some of the smaller early game. Maybe we keep the Curious Penguin too. So we keep because worst case if we don't get a 1 or a 2 drop, at least okay, so we have the little skydiver sliding penguin combo. Nothing nothing is more amazing than that. Okay, so do we get rid of the 3 drop or the stay clam? I guess we put the stay clam down. We'll see. If it's yellow, we'll regret that. At least if it's yellow, we have popcorn. I do think because of Mount Fuji, is there some way we can use Mount Fuji against yellow? I guess, well, if it's yeah, but yellow aggro doesn't really have anything. Penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes is for Yum Yum, but for yellow aggro, I'm not really sure. Okay, so anyway, all right, let's go with the. Oh, maybe I should have played the. Yeah, okay, that was a mistake. I should have played the Curious Penguin as a rod because the Success Penguin, yeah, will get in the way of the Curious Penguin will get in the way of our amazing combo. Okay, so it's some sort of purple blue thing. Um, so I do think, yeah, so maybe okay, so let's see. So is this okay? So it can be Bizbunk, it could be Recycler, or it could be, but what's it called? Okay, so we got a Binkus. let's see. Okay, so it's Bizbunk. Okay, so we need to get our Binkus back ASAP. Okay, so we'll play the we'll play the sliding penguin. So we're gonna get a lot of fish sickles. Oh, so maybe okay, so maybe I'm playing this wrong. Because maybe at this point I should have just used up my fish sickle. Um, so let's see. So I have one fish sickle now. I'm gonna have to deal with the overlay, I guess, because this fish sickle situation is not ideal because it's right behind me. But so we have one fish sickle right now. And with that one fish sickle, okay, so we really need a well, do we just want to tie the vibe check? No. Yeah, I guess we'll win it. So we're gonna never play rods again, but we're gonna win them naturally. Okay, so they have so we need to just be able to remove the ascending penguin. So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to stall until we can get Binkus. So we have 3 bounce house rods and 2 Binkus in our deck. So because of that, we have okay, well, there's another Binkus, so that's unfortunate. So we have 4 more in our deck we can hit. So I guess we'll just play the Hungry Penguin, use up a Fishicle, right? There's no I guess this will stop the Fishicle train, but yeah, this is where I think the Success Penguin would have been good. But okay, so if they play the Ascending Penguin, we have the Walk the Runway to remove it. So and I think we'll remove the first Ascending Penguin. So we will what should we put on the other side of the Walk the Runway? I guess we'll put the Hungry Penguin on the other side because that will mean that we can right that they can't use a not a rod anymore. Because otherwise, if we put like the sliding penguin on the other side with 6-5, they could have 2 not a rod anymore to deal with it. And it's really good to do this turn. Well, A, just to not give them the time, but B, because when we use the hungry penguin, we would what's it called? They don't have right, if they have 2 purple pudge, they can use the adventure squad. So we're slowly moving forward towards the end of the game. We really need a bounce house rod. Okay, another walk the runway. That's good. So I think okay, so I think we do this because that's gonna give us one more. So one more ascending penguin we can walk the runway on. And then next turn we can play the popcorn penguin. And again, here's what I'm talking about with the popcorn penguin. So we play the popcorn penguin, then we play the sliding penguin on the popcorn penguin, but then the little skydiver is exposed. I mean, here it's fine because they have a bunch of 2 vibe penguins, but the in a different situation, that could be a problem. Okay, so we're still really looking for a Binkus because if we had a Binkus, we could yeah, Binkus would be so good here because it would just set them back basically the whole way, right? Yeah, so we have bounce house rod. Okay, so we have 3 bounce house and 1 Binkus. So again, this is yeah. So this is I guess maybe you could yeah, I almost think should we play 4 Binkus. But I guess okay, so the thought is so the question we're still trying to answer is this I guess we'll use the curious. Is this setup good enough to win? Like, is a Binkus by itself good enough for this matchup? And I would say if I had a Binkus now in my hand, I would feel really good. So, um, yeah, because well, so right now they might no, they can't win from here. Okay, bounce house. Okay, so we got the bounce house. So we're gonna do the full thing, right? We're gonna go this. We're gonna bounce house the Binkus. Perfect. And then we're gonna play the Binkus and we're gonna make it go to our ice. So we're gonna choose all the penguins. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then what cards we want? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I guess there's no reason to put the what's back. No, I guess we might as well 13. Okay. All right, so we empty their ice, play the popcorn. So let's see what they do with this. So I guess they could like run like misplace or something like that. But yeah, now we're just going to okay, so they're going to use the brainy penguin, but we'll just can we next turn we'll have 8, 14. Yeah, we'll be able just to play the Binkus again and re-empty the ice. So we'll just keep playing the Binkus every turn. And I think it'll be pretty good. Maybe if they play Mount Fuji, right? Well, if they play Mount Fuji, we'll just name. I don't even know what we would name. That's a good question. Would we name Bunkus? I think if we name Bunkus at this point, it would be pretty good. Um, but or Ascending. But anyway, let's see what they do. So this has been pretty exciting that we got two BizBunk matchups today because I really wanted to test out this Binkus theory. Okay, so they're gonna try to. Okay, so they want to try to have. Um, they want to try to have control. Well, but we can use our HungryPenguin. Okay, so what do we want to get rid of here? I think I want to get. I think I want to not let them have Purple Pudge because I'm not so worried about the cards getting swapped. And so then yeah, so then we can use the HungryPenguin on the like. I would rather have initiative so that I can just so that I can use what's it called? That I can use. Well, maybe I should let the WalktheRunway ice itself, but I don't really like the fact that there's two Bunkuses in the ice. So I'm gonna just um yeah, I'm gonna just use this so I can use Binkus again. And then yeah, so we'll do it like this. If for some reason I get a second Binkus, then I might leave my Binkus on the board. Okay, so we're gonna use Binkus on everything. Okay, so walk the runway. Okay, so we'll use first we'll use Binkus. We'll just empty their entire ice. And then I guess we'll use one walk the runway as a rod just to set up the win. And then like right, if they play like a second bashful swordsman, that's fine. Then I'll let them ice themselves. But I do yeah, I do like the way that we just kind of keep their ice clear every turn. Um, just because that's gonna really cut down their ability to kind of win in one turn. So okay, so and what if they have a misplace, right? They could maybe play misplace on the Binkus. Um, okay, so Pop and Pete. Okay, this is interesting. So okay, so if I use the well, that might expose me to a Gotham. I guess that's well, hmm. Yeah, so okay, so I don't want to leave the ascending on the board, but if I expose myself to a Gotham, I guess I'd rather just keep the popcorn. I'd rather just keep the popcorn, right? Because if I do the um yeah, because they need to do something, right? Well, at this point, do I just let yeah, I think we just do this. They're gonna have to well, they can't got him, so they have to use a piece of removal here. If they use a piece of removal, then I'll use a walk the runway on the ascending. Yeah, so they'll do it well, but have a philosophical debate won't work because they don't have 6 cards in their ice. So unless I'm missing something here, right? Have a philosophical debate means that they need to ice 6 cards, which I just don't think that they're gonna be able to do because they only have 2 cards in their ice. So then we go here, and then right, so maybe they have a WhataTwist. If they have like a WhataTwist, then okay, cool, cool. So all right, so I think what we're showing here is we're showing that Binkus is very good against BizBunk, and I think we're also showing that this like early game package of the new cards doesn't really work. Or it's kind of awkward and this isn't the right deck for it. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just for the final game, let's just turn this deck how I would actually play it if I was just trying to climb the ladder and not trying to make a good deck. So basically, I love the 3 Binkus. I'm sorry, little Skydiver. I'm sorry, little Bloom. I just don't think that you're the right cards for this deck. So yeah, so here it is. So let's look at it just for the final game. I think this is what I would call the green aggro build right now. Now, I do think that there is a different build, which is kind of more like has maybe survives a lot in it. So we play survives a lot and then a bunch of the fish sickle cards. But I think this is how I would play green aggro. I think it's a little boring because the only new card we're using Binkus is Binkus, but we've seen so far in both games, Binkus has just been MVP. And it looks like Binkus is good enough for the BizBunk matchup that you don't really need So we basically freed up a bunch of slots because, right, we took out the 4 Gothams and the 3 misplace, put in 3 Binkus, and then that enabled us to put the basically the 2 Success Penguins in and the 2 Hungry Penguins. And I think that this is just and then what else? Oh, and some the extra clam. So basically all that lets us just be really more teched against the other matchups. So I guess the one matchup we're not maybe so good in is the Bash Globe matchup. So maybe we would put in some relic removal or something like that. But I guess in the Bash Globe matchup we have cleanup good. But then and I guess Stay Clam and Twist can work. So I don't know. Maybe you would take out the Success Penguin because maybe the Success Penguin is more for the green mirror. So we would say, okay, so maybe let's do it like that. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, because Success Penguin is really just for the green mirror, and Hungry Penguin is more versatile. So I think we add one more Hungry Penguin in. We take out and we put in the final cleanup good. Well, no, because I really just want. I think 6 finishers is the right amount. Let's leave it like this. I think this is good. Okay, cool. All right, let's play the final game and let's see what happens there. All right, taking a look at the hand for the next game. So okay, so we've got popcorn, which is good. Walk the runway is good. So I think we get rid of those two. I think we keep the curious, just because we don't really have any other early game. So let's see. Okay, so we've got the bounce house. That's also good. So we can definitely put the cleanup good as the rod because with bounce house we can feel a lot more confident that we'll be able to get it back if we need it. So okay, so this is some sort of green. All right, so in the green mirror, what's really important? So popcorn is very good, and we're gonna see that popcorn. Maybe the penguin, the little penguin who blooms, right? Maybe you'll see what we're talking about here with the anti synergy with sliding, but we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, so Romulus is like the most important card in the mirror. Okay, so now that they're playing Sneaky Penguin, less thinking that it's a mirror, more thinking it's some sort of Bash Globe deck, maybe. So either way, okay, so we definitely need Curious next turn, and then we'll need sliding. So, let's see. So I think this is kind of a tricky turn of what to rod. So we will, yeah. So let's think through that. So what could we possibly be rodding here? So I definitely want to keep Romulus. I guess Hungry Penguin is the least important in the Bash Globe matchup because right, they typically under snow globe conditions, Hungry Penguin doesn't do anything. Um, but right, they don't always play snow globe. So maybe I am misthinking about this. So let's see. Okay, so cleanup good is very important in the snow globe matchup. So ideally we would have six green pudge to get 2 cleanup good out there. But that's a little okay. So now we're thinking this is some sort of mega penguin deck. Okay. So then if it's a mega penguin deck, all right. So now in the Mega Penguin deck world, I definitely need as much green pudge as possible. So it's almost like is popcorn not necessary? Hmm. So we'll be playing Curious Penguin. I think I'm still gonna keep the popcorn. We'll play Curious Penguin this turn. We'll play Sliding Penguin next turn. But okay, so what do we need? Okay, we need WhataTwist. What a twist. Um What a twist is key. And we are running 4 in this list, so should be pretty good for the caffeine matchup, and 3 cleanup goods, of which we already drew 2 of them. Okay, so we have the second bounce house. So I will probably, I will either rod that or I'll grab this cleanup good. But I don't think we can afford to actually play a bounce house as not a rod because we are quickly running out of time and we need to get up to 7 pudge, which is going to be actually kind of difficult. So at this point, right, so we'll always have the popcorn as a defensive. And again, so this is where if we had the Lil Who Blooms, this would cause some serious problems for us. Okay, so we definitely don't need the 2. Well, I guess the second popcorn is also going to be useless, but I guess we'll do the second bounce house. Maybe there's some chance that if he has like popcorn into popcorn, then we would, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think okay, so this is where having a slow start is not good, right? Against caffeine, missing the 2 drop was definitely brutal. Um, because now, right, we're not even gonna have time to get our Romulus down. I think the game is going to end before our Romulus comes down. And we do need, well, now I'm actually regretting. Yeah, I think we just need as much green pudge as possible. Sorry, I'm definitely rusty at this matchup. I haven't played it in a while. We need we need as much green pudge as we can possibly get. So, well, we can do quite a bit of green pudge. We can, because we can do the Curious Penguin and then the bounce house on the. Okay, so they didn't play anything. So, okay, so twist is perfect. So I'm just gonna play the Curious this turn, and right there's maybe some chance that we will be able to. Yeah, so I guess we can use the cleanup good. Yeah, so now I'm actually wishing I hadn't. Yeah, I definitely should have rotted the popcorn as well, not the not the what's it called? Not the bounce house, because the second cleanup good is looking like we maybe want that. Um, because okay, so well, the Romulus will work with the. So I guess we do cleanup good next turn, and then Romulus the turn after. Oh, we also have a stay clam, so we could do the stay clam. So there's lots of options, right? Maybe they have a twist. So we need. Okay, so but yeah, I think we're gonna have to bounce house to get that final green pudge this turn, which is then not good. Okay, so popcorn is fine because we can play our own popcorn. That's gonna buy us a turn. Okay, so here they're at 14, but right, our popcorn, they'll go back down to 13. So we'll play the popcorn this turn. And then what should we play as a rod? So I guess we want to keep the popcorn. Well, I want to keep everything in. So I'm gonna play the Walk the Runway this turn to remove something, probably the sneaky. I have 2 Walk the Runways. And so then, but if they have a second popcorn, I don't want to lose to it. So I guess I'll keep the popcorn. Well, I could then bounce house rod for it. So then should I just bounce house, because I need to get I need to get 7 rods next turn to play the Romulus. So I guess we'll play the popcorn this turn, and then worst case we bounce house to get it back next turn if they play popcorn. So I think we have like all the tools we need. We just had a really slow start. So and we'll definitely flop the little singer. Um okay, so we'll use our sliding penguin first. We'll use our sliding penguin on our curious penguin. Okay, and then we'll use our popcorn penguin on their popcorn penguin. And then we'll flop the little singer. And then we'll use the walk the runway on the sneaky penguin. And we hope that they don't have a what's it called? The not a rod anymore. So if they have a not a rod anymore, I'm not sure if this was actually the right play. Okay, well they didn't do a not a rod anymore. And then next turn we can play the Romulus. Okay, so I think we may have gotten over the edge, but if they get a second caffeine, it's going to be tough. Um, and their Green Mega Penguin is getting pretty big. So okay, so we have a Binkus. Okay, so Binkus is totally useless. So but again, right, Binkus, we've seen Binkus be very useful in the other matchups. So here, okay, so we'll play the I think we'll play the Romulus this turn because we just want to we want to just basically go as wide as possible. So we'll play the Romulus this turn and we'll remove the Lil Singer. And that'll bring him down to 13. That'll buy us one more turn. Because we also want them to draw as few cards as possible. So we'll put the sliding on the Romulus, and then we can. Oh, because we're running out of time where the WhataTwist would work, right? Well, but everyone stay clam twist is such a good. Yeah, let's play the walk the runway to get one more turn, because I don't think that that's really what we want to use. Like getting them off of 14 is going to be, you know, not being used until like right. This is the last turn we're going to be able to do this to get them down to 13. Okay, so now we've got them fully down. So that means next turn, but next turn we still can't win next turn because we'll only be at, well, maybe okay. Actually we can win next turn because we can now get to 14. Okay, so we'll do cleanup good next turn for the win. And, oh, nope, never mind. Okay, so we need, um, all right. So, okay, so we can, okay, so to buy some time, because, right, okay, so we can basically do, okay, so how, okay, let's think through this. So we could do Romulus. Okay, so I think we need to play the popcorn though. So can we survive if it's 4? If we just play the popcorn and the success, right? The popcorn's trade. He's going to be at 15. We're going to this one is going to be at 14 and we'll be at 16 here. So I think that's fine, right? Cuz we'll do cleanup good. So I think but wait, they could get rid of the no, okay, cuz they have to get rid of the so I think this works. I think if we go like this and like this, um and at this point we should definitely play a rod. So what rod? I guess there's really well, the garden grows. I guess we can play the garden grows because worst case we pull it back with the bounce house. Okay, so theoretically, I think I calculated this right. If I didn't, it's gonna be sad. Um because right, the popcorn takes my popcorn. Okay, so now sliding. So sliding will go on the curious, and the popcorn will get rid of their popcorn. And then we have cleanup good. Okay, so we'll flop their zoomer. And then we'll do cleanup good on the curious. All right. And that should get this to 16. And then next turn we do Romulus. Now the only thing is with Stay Clam is we could maybe lose to some sort of snow globe shenanigans, maybe. So maybe we should do because right, if then they play a snow globe with a WhataTwist. So I kind of think we want to get the other cleanup good back. So if I go here, so definitely okay, so the cards I'm considering getting back. Okay, wait, so this is even better, right? Because now we can just do 7 and Blossoming Penguin. And then we get this to get the cleanup good back. Okay, perfect draw. So okay, so we have both options here. So we should be set on how to deal with whatever they could play. Because even if they play a second caffeine, which they did get, we're still plenty fine. All right, we'll make our Romulus as big as possible. Although they will still be bigger than our Romulus. But I think at this point we just clean up good, right? And then there's nothing that they can do about this at this point. There's no rods. So right, we could do Stay Clam, but the issue with Stay Clam, um, well, there's no real issue with Stay Clam because right, we could do Clam and Twist on the Romulus, but I think Cleanup Good is safer. So I think we'll do Cleanup Good. Although I can't really think of a set of cards where it matters. So we do Cleanup Good on the Romulus, and then that should be it. So again, I think so I do like what they're doing here with Zoomer and caffeine. Like I think that bot like I think Zoomer is a really good fit for caffeine, Lil Zoomer, because right, it did if they had a really fast start and I had a slow start, but then they had like this like slow mid to late game. But like little Zoomer kind of bridged that gap. It's just I was fortunate enough to get enough little green penguins here. Like I do think I made a mistake by rotting the penguin whose garden grows. And it is interesting. I did right. Holding on to the popcorns was actually the right play. So initially I was saying like, oh, it was a mistake to put the popcorn. I mean, I guess I never needed that popcorn because I drew another one. But had I not drawn it, bounce housing that popcorn could have been very useful. All right. So that's going to be our games for the day. So we played 3 games and we got 3 wins. So 2 games against Bunkus, where Binkus was or against Bizbunk, where Binkus was the MVP, won both of those games. And then against Caffeine, and against Caffeine, right, we basically clean up good, won the game. But we also, the Stay Clam would have also worked. So I think like even though clean up good is like better against Caffeine, Stay Clam still with WhataTwist can be really useful as well. So, but it's just against, I guess, against Snow Globe. Well, against Snow Globe, it's questionable. So, I guess against Snow Globe, I would rather have the cleanup good. So, the question is really, I think here, I do think 6 is the right number of finishers. And so, if you're worried more about yellow, which I am, especially as green, I'm playing 3 and 3 right now, but you could play 4 and 2 here. Everything else, I still think this is very similar to the pre-Legend of Lil's pre-release cards list, with the main thing as the misplaces becoming the Binkus. but I think this deck now it has really shored up one of its weaker matchups, which allows us to lean more into the other weak matchup with this yellow. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.